welcome to Higginsanity. I'm your host, Jason Higgins.
I'm the co-host Dan Slott.
And
Someone's
welcome,
feeling
welcome. What's
someone's
going
feeling a
on?
little shisty today.
That's right. Joe Shiesty. Joe Burrow. He's my
Uh,
boy. So I had to put on for the Cincinnati Bengals. You know who day?
who day?
See, I wish I had the one bad thing with this is I have thin hair. So the unfortunate thing with having thin hair, I can't really do a lot of things with my hair. So I only can kind of choose between like a few hairstyles. But if I could grow my hair out, like I wish I had like the flow. Like I'm trying to think. Maybe
Like
like
this?
Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights or
Oh,
like
like that flow.
yeah,
All
or
right.
maybe like I'm thinking maybe like I'm trying to think of someone with like really cool hair. Like one of those like California like surf. I don't know. Did you ever watch Big Brother?
No.
Okay. Well, I was thinking of this one dude. He had like
You want
one
it
of those.
like Sunshine from Remember the Titans before he cuts it?
Oh yeah, yeah. See,
Sunshine,
I would have
sunshine.
the flow. That would be nice, but
Yeah.
I can't do that. Or if not,
You
I
could
look
still
like
get some
Sly.
flow. Just trim it up on the sides a little bit and keep it a little longer. You can get some flow going.
That's true. That's true. I know if I've grown
I
my
think you
hair out
should try.
before, and I look like Slater from Dazed and Confused, so I can't really be looking like
You should
that.
try and do like Jesse from Full House.
But he has like thicker hair though, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's freaking John Stamos.
Yeah, I'm trying. If I had just the Joe Burrow hair, have you seen Joe Burrow? Some pictures of him right now at workouts. He got the flow
Yeah.
going on right
How can
now,
you
and he's wearing
not
the
see pictures of
headband.
him? Yeah.
Everybody wearing headbands on the team right now. I'm telling you, man, the atmosphere is just feeling right with this team, right? Something just feels so, this is amazing. I can sense it this year. I can sense it.
I
You
think you
know,
said that last year too.
hey man.
How'd that go for you?
Actually, I mean, I was really disappointed in the first couple weeks. I was very disappointed the first couple weeks, but we turned it around. But you can't blame it. You know, we had basically a brand new offensive line, and Joe Burrow got his appendix taken out literally a week before
Right?
the season starts. So I mean, it did take a few weeks to get together, but I think just with the team, this is the second year with that O line. Plus, we picked up Orlando Brown from the Chiefs, which is crazy to me, and I just feel like that's huge taken because I feel like obviously the Chiefs and the Bengals are a rival squads right now, just because of
Yeah.
I mean, the viewership and just the battle. I mean, every game is so close. It's a 3-point game, like every
Yeah.
game, or it's a field goal. They're winning on the last drive, and
Yeah.
like, so with that being said, I'm interesting, and for those who don't know, I have tickets to Monday Night Football of
Ooh.
the Bengals versus Rams, 4 rows up in the end zone.
Nice, nice. All right, I'm gonna try something because I've got a couple ideas on whose flow you should go for. So I'm
Okay.
gonna try this for the first time, see if it works.
Okay. So, haha. Okay, I have the screen pulled up. Just the screen.
All right,
You're in the bottom
all right.
middle.
I can't see you, but
Okay.
see, you should go for like this flow right here,
Okay. Okay.
or
The Brad Pitt.
yeah,
The
or
Brad Flow.
you
This is
can do the
literally a Google
Bradley
search.
Cooper, like right there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, see, I think you could pull that off.
I think I could definitely, yeah, Bradley Cooper's a stud. Basically, that's what all my GTA characters look like is Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, see,
I mean, you play GTA with me. What does my
right,
character look
right.
like? Bradley Cooper.
See, see, I think you could pull something like that off.
Hold on. There we go. Pull that. Boom, boom, boop, 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 boop. There we
Look at
go.
us, screen share
Are you
stuff.
back? Can you see me?
Yeah, yeah.
Woo! Look at that,
Look at that.
Skylar. Look
We're
at
like a
that, man.
professional and stuff.
Told you we can figure this out.
Uh,
Look at that. Look at
yeah.
that. Look at that.
Shit.
Would you look at that?
Uh,
Would you just look at it?
uh,
So, Mondays. Today's a Monday, obviously. Monday's our
Yeah.
main day. We can record podcasts. We kind of designate Mondays
Mm-hmm.
as our podcast day, even though we do record podcasts on different days. It seems like Monday's our best day. But I was kind of like texting back with you, Dan, today is, how Mondays, like,
Mm-hmm.
as a kid growing up, did you ever get like that Sunday feeling? It's like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, and it's that feeling like, I got to go to school the next morning and I'm going to have a week of school. It was just like that feeling of like the weekend's over with and you're just like, you're going to have to wake up early and go to school. Do you? And then now it's obviously, I work Monday through Friday, but it's, obviously it's different and whatnot now. Did you have that kind of feeling growing up as a
Yeah.
kid?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think every kid does, unless you're one of those freaks who like looks forward to school. But uh, but
You're one
yeah,
of
of
those
course. Of
freaks.
course. I mean, and it's bedtime and you're not tired and your parents are like it's time for bed and you're like but and it's terrible. Yeah, of course. But
See,
now it doesn't really bother me. Like now, like with the job I have, I don't hate Mondays. The only reason I do is because I have to start every Monday with like 2 hours of Zoom meetings.
mm-hmm.
So by the time I'm done, it's like 10:30, and I'm like, now I have to start my day. And like that is the worst part about Mondays for me, because like I like to get up and get out and get my shit done.
Yeah.
Because I can kind of make my own schedule. So like if I can get up early and start my day earlier, I'd rather do that. So like Mondays at like 10:30, I am the least motivated person, so I have to like make myself go and get out and in the field and do all that. So that's why I hate Mondays. But other than that, like I don't despise them or anything anymore. It's harder. It's definitely harder in the summer because it's like you wake up and it's nice out and you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to have to. Luckily, I mean, I drive a lot, so like I can at least enjoy the weather somewhat, especially with the Jeep. Like I had my doors and top down for like 2 weeks straight, so like that's nice because even though I'm working, I'm still cruising with the music up,
Mm-hmm.
doors off, top down. So, what about you now?
Well, I mean, now with the job I'm at now, with being in medical at the prison, I love going to work each and every day.
Yeah,
I love the position that I'm in, and what helps me obviously in the mornings is I play like my favorite songs. I play certain playlists and whatnot. Play that on my Amazon Echo, and play that in the living room, and literally I'm listening to music. I'm getting myself ready. Especially now in the summertime, I go on runs with my dog first thing in the
oh,
morning.
nice.
Kind of get up and flowing, and it feels great because it's like you're already up a couple of extra hours. You
Yeah,
feel like before everybody else. So it feels like, oh, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the
yeah.
day.
But
Um,
you start early though, don't you? Don't you start at like 6:30 in the morning?
I leave about 6:50 in the morning,
So you're
to
going for
get to
runs
work.
before that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And so we'll run around the house. When it gets to winter time, I'll see if that goes elsewhere, because
Just get a treadmill.
yeah. All right,
You
all
can
right.
just hold the leash next to you and she'll run in place with you.
I mean, I wish I could take her to Planet Fitness. I mean,
Yeah,
but my dog is such a cutie, and everywhere we go, she gets all the attention in the world,
yeah,
and she gets free food every drive-through we go through.
yeah.
Everybody wants to pet her, everyone wants to see her. So I guarantee if I brought her into Planet Fitness,
I'm like, you would get zero
oh
workout done.
yeah, and she eats it up. She knows it too. That's
Oh
that's
yeah,
that's the thing about it, is she eats up all the attention because she loves it. Like right
yeah.
now, she is upset because I'm obviously doing the podcast and I'm not
Hmm.
paying attention to her, so she's pretty upset right
Yeah.
now.
That's how Jackson is. I mean, he's a golden retriever, which is like, America's dog,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And anywhere we go, he was like, oh, and he just like eats it up. He like goes up to him and like his tail goes ballistic and everything. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. He's been cooped up and he is so like ramped up because he had surgery.
Oh.
And so he has maybe I mean he's not even 2 years old. So like if like golden retrievers, like they don't even get out of their puppy stage till like 2 or a little after. So he hasn't been able to like play outside, go on walks, do anything. Like he's been in a cone, off and on for like almost 2 weeks,
Oh,
and he just got his stitches out today, and so
oh,
he's like allowed to go on like short walks and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I can only imagine the first walk we go on, he's just gonna be because we couldn't even let him like out on the tether outside because
hmm,
if he starts running around, he could pop stitches. So like we'd
yeah.
have to let him out and like drag him back inside because he's just been cooped up in the house for so long. So
Sheesh. Yeah, see, I love Jax because, but every time I come over, he wants to try to wrestle me. I don't even know
yeah,
why.
well, you antagonize him. Don't blame it
What?
on Jackson. You
What?
antagonize him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. This is a. I'll see if I can show it on the. See if it shows up.
He starts it every time.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
his.
ugh,
It's not
terrible.
going in
It's good.
focus,
Seen worse.
but yeah. But yeah, it's like 6 inches long and it's right on his shoulder, so like he couldn't do anything.
See, it's like
He's
everything that happens to like dogs, it's like always like 10 times worse. Like it's what's fun, it's like I noticed this on TikTok today. Like I was scrolling this TikTok and it was like some movie. I think it was like the Black Demon or something like that. And it's like a shark movie, and there's a dog in it. And all the comments in the comment section were like, "Did the dog survive? Did the dog survive? Who cares about anybody else but the dog?" But that's
right.
how
Who
I
cares about
am.
all the people who get tortured and murdered
Yeah,
and slit open? But if something happens to a dog, yeah, don't
yeah,
I don't I don't think we want to go down that road.
yeah. See, that's how I am, honestly. In every movie, if I'm like, if I honest, I'll just be honest. If I'm watching a TV show and something happens to the dog, I'm
Yeah.
done watching the TV show. Like
Oh my gosh.
I straight up, I stopped watching Power just because the dog. I was like, no, sorry, I can't do
So
this.
did you stop watching John Wick? You didn't. You stopped after the first what 10 minutes of the first John Wick, and you didn't watch any of the other
Yeah, I
ones.
didn't see 2, 3, or 4.
Don't bother with four.
Yeah, I
You know what
haven't.
you should do with Zoe if you want to take her on a workout, you should do some like Rocky workouts. Just run to the like get a tether and run to the park right next to your house and then tether in and you can do like pull-ups on the playground and
Oh,
like
I've
do
done that.
some
Oh, I've
Yeah.
done that. It's like
Yeah.
and she loves going on the playground stuff like that. And I tried going down the slide with her, but she decided that the slide was not her friend, and she took a leap off the slide. And I'm like, Zoe, you cannot do that, because like I had to like jump off with her because like she's attached to my waist, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you can't just 5-star frog splash off the slide. Like, who are you, Rob Van Dam? Like,
Yeah.
no, we cannot just do this. Like,
Jackson would crush me at the bottom of the slide. We'd get to the bottom and he just like dude, I just got him weighed today. He's 87 pounds.
oh, see,
Yeah.
Zoe's about 45, but she's
Yeah.
pure muscle because my gosh, when she the thing is she gets so fast and she'll
Mm-hmm.
hit you head on, and oh my goodness, like
Mm-hmm.
she busted this chihuahua one day in the backyard and knocked this chihuahua at least 10, 15 feet in the air. Like, oh, this is what happened. So I'm in my backyard, I'm working on my landscaping and whatnot, and there's an old couple that lives right across the street from me. Well, they also have a fenced-in yard. I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
fenced-in yard. They have a fenced-in yard except for their front yard, where the front
Okay.
door is. Well, for some odd reason, they decided to let their chihuahua out in the front yard.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have my dog, in the backyard, and she's tied
Yeah.
up to her leash around the tree. That way, she can be out in the back and play,
Right.
pee, whatever, while I'm, putting mulch down. Well, I happen to get starting to get around the corner of my house. Well, my dad, I think he was dropping something off, or I had the truck or something, or extra tools, and he was picking something up or something. I can't remember, but he was like going across the street right at the time. This chihuahua starts coming at my dog in my yard. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Zoe sees it. She takes off at a dead sprint at this chihuahua and hits this chihuahua dead on, or head on, At the same time, she gets the end of her leash to where she falls backwards to where she basically about beheaded herself to kill this chihuahua. She about committed suicide.
Yeah.
She was on a suicide mission. It was like all or nothing for her. So she gets flying backwards. Meanwhile, this chihuahua does just flipping in the air and lands just yelping. And my dad is driving by. You can see my dad and he stops because he's like, "What the heck?" And the old lady had to come over and pick the dog up. And so I'm like, so I go over. I was getting ready to go over. I'm like, I'm like, should I go over there? He's like, nah, no. He's like, Zoe hit that sucker head on, but knocked he goes, I'm telling you. He goes, if that leash did not catch her at the end, she would have mauled that thing. Like, I've watched her catch a bird mid-flight out of the air. I've watched her maul some rabbits, cats, whatever. She is a certified killer if it comes into our yard. She does not care. But she's the most sweetest, cutest. Like, Zoe, come here, baby. Come here. Like, I'll show you guys, Zoe. Come here, boo-boo. Come here.
Oh, my gosh. We got to watch this again.
Oh. That's Zoe. Oh, okay. Are you going to say something on the mic? See, that's my baby.
So if I told this story on the cast, stop me. But so I wake up, right? Or no, yeah, it's in the morning. I wake up and Jackson's looking out the window, kind of like barking a little bit. So I look out the window and there's 3 cats in our yard, right? 2 of them are going at it in our backyard, and there's a third one just sitting there watching.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to let Jackson out and he'll scare the shit out of him and shoo him off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I let Jackson out. He takes 3 steps and just doesn't move and just is watching. Cats pay no attention to him, and he kind of takes another step and they stop and look at him, and then he just turns around and walks back in the house. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? There's 3 cats in the yard and you're just watching the show. It's like, I sent you out there to scare him away. So I had to go out there and scare him away. I'm like, good guard dog. Good.
See, now,
good job.
if that was Zoe, she would have, it would have been game over.
But he'll run after bunnies and squirrels, and he's jumped at birds before. But I'm just like, I don't know if he because they weren't running or anything, he didn't, it didn't trigger. But I'm just like, what the hell, dude?
Maybe he just had better things on his mind.
I don't know, I guess.
It was a hard day for him. It was a rough day. It was time to, go and take a chill pill. But the reason I knew Zoe was my dog is when I came home with her the first night, we were eating dinner. I was eating dinner and I turned on that 70s show. She popped a squat right next to me and I have a video of this too. Just watching the show. She watched we watched 2, 3, 4 episodes together, and she's just the whole time
sat there and just watched.
Just so in tune with the show, And I just remember when I brought her home, because I adopted her from the Cass County Humane Society when she was a pup. So when I brought her home, I just remember her looking around the house, and she went around in a circle, and she just laid down in her bed, and she goes, and you could just see and she was just in heaven at that point. And ever since then, now she's a spoiled princess and thinks she thinks everything is hers and does what she wants.
Yeah.
Yep, that's you. As you, and I talked to her like a little kid, so that's I mean, remember, were you there when we had the surprise party for my dad? And I came up with I came walking up with a backpack on and was carrying Zoe like a little kid.
I don't know if I was there.
I don't know.
I know I was at the party, but I don't know if I was there for that.
Okay. Yeah. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, you treat her like a little kid. And I was like, what? Because I have her doggy backpack and I carry her and I got her little treats and clothes and.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
That'll do it.
My mom wanted grandkids. Here's your fur child. This is a fur child. This is your grandchild, Mom. I'm sorry, but this is what you get.
You'll get there one day.
We'll see.
Oh gosh.
But for my Mondays as well, I go when I was a kid. Mondays for me was either you had Monday Night Football, which obviously as an
Hmm.
adult is like my, whether it's fantasy
It's like
football
religion.
or it's I mean I watch Monday Night Football. I'm watching Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
I mean I've come to watch more football. I always watch football. I mean I played football for a year, 1 year, but this 1 year. My
Yeah.
body was made for basketball and baseball, which were my sports, not football. Um, but as I got to college and to now, I watch way more football. One because
Oh
I'm
yeah.
an avid fantasy football,
Hmm.
but one just like the love of the game. I mean, I went from just watching the Bengals and watching the Colts growing up to now I literally
Yeah.
watch like every like I try if I'm free on besides like the Bengals game, like I'm watching the other games and things like that obviously if I'm not doing other things, but most of the time like Sundays I kind of try to dedicate to like my chill day to like that's my
Hmm.
me day. I'm going to work out in the morning, go to church, run with Zoe, ever play outside and then watch football. That's like my good
Oh
Sundays.
yeah. That's yeah, Sunday is made for watching football. Yeah. By the time Sunday night football gets on, Sarah's like, "Can we do anything else?" I'm like, "You can." I was like, so so she'll either like put something else on the TV, and that's when I pull out the laptop or the tablet and put my earbuds in
Mhm.
and watch it on that. Or same with like Monday Night Football, like she's done. But and then she like claims she's a Steelers fan, so I'm like, the Steelers are playing Monday Night Football. She's
Ugh,
like, okay. I'm like, you're not a fan.
very
But yeah,
displeasing.
I watch any and all football that I can, not just the Packers.
Yeah. Like that's the one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously basketball is my I can watch any team on any daily basis just because I've was a basketball player, college ball player, and so forth. But that's because basketball is my blood, and but football I'm right there with. Like football, I will
Yeah.
watch literally every team, even from
Oh
to
yeah.
where the Chicago Bears last year was playing so terribly bad,
Mm-hmm.
horrific. I will still watch them to, watching the Chiefs versus Bills, even though I despise the Chiefs. I will watch them just because I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say the Chiefs are a terrible team when they're a year
Well,
after
no, but you
year.
watch your rivals to, hopefully watch them lose.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hate when people like, I don't know why sports analysts like on TV sports shows
Oh
when
gosh. Yep.
they congratulate one person or they talk great about one team, they have to feel like they have to come up with some blasphemy about the other person or the other team or downgrade that other team and say, "Oh, they're trash or they suck or whatever." Like I'll sit here and say this, like I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan till the day I die, and I can't stand the Chiefs. I despise Patrick Mahomes. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Chiefs are terrible and Patrick
Right.
Mahomes.
Or right.
I like as much as I love Joe Burrow. Like I'll say this, Patrick Mahomes is. I think he's the best player in the NFL, in my respect,
Yeah.
and I can say that. But again, I'm gonna still fight and fight and fight because my opinion on Joe Burrow obviously is biased because I'm gonna say Joe
Right.
Burrow is the best. For me, this is the way I look at it. And I don't know if and people will say, "Oh, it's the same thing." I think it's different, and because this is the way I look at it. I think Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the league, quarterback perspective wise,
Hmm.
and I think Patrick Mahomes is the best player overall
Yeah.
in the league because
Oh
I
yeah, that's a
think
different thing.
yeah, because the way if you look at it, who do they compare the most to Tom Brady, which is everybody or 99.9% of people's GOAT quarterback.
See, oh no, I don't think he's 99% of people's goat because A, he's a cheater, but we don't need to go down that
Yeah.
lane. But
But
B, also Tom Brady was never athletic.
yeah.
He
That
was
is,
never athletic. So to me, like a Patrick Mahomes comparison to Tom Brady isn't an accurate comparison
mm-hmm.
because like it's more of like a Peyton Manning to a Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Both elite, really good. Even though, like I always say, Tom Brady's a cheater, I'm not going to deny he's talented.
yeah,
Although he always did have one of the best O lines in front of him the entire time he played in New England. But he's still an elite quarterback, so compare him to similar play styles.
yeah.
Like to me, you should be Patrick Mahomes in his prime to like Aaron Rodgers in his prime. That should be a more realistic comparison. Or now, like Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, they have a similar athletic, creative play style. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, and it upsets me when I hear So Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson and Jalen Hurts, I would say, are on another level with running the ball. But Joe Burrow, Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers, and I would say, or I forgot Justin Fields, put Justin Fields up there too. You look at Rodgers and Burrow. How many times have they been away? Have they been able to run away from numerous sacks because they've had a bad O line at times? Especially,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Joe Burrow. He would have been dead if he couldn't run away with the football with that
Mm-hmm.
dreadful line 2 years ago. How many times has he rushed? How many? Like if you watched the New Orleans Saints game last year, like the way he can run to the end zone. How many times has he ran on 4th and 17 and getting the first down? Against the Chiefs, against
Right.
the Titans. I mean, the list goes on. No, he can't run like Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, but he can still move. Tom Brady couldn't do
That's
that. Peyton Manning couldn't
right.
do
That's what I
that.
was gonna say. And again, I might be biased. I want your take on it, but I think Aaron Rodgers is the best ever at being the craftiest quarterback. Not as far as like crazy creative throws behind the back, left-handed throws like Mahomes, but he's so smart and technical. He knows when to run. He can slide through the pocket. He can evade those sacks, and then you have to respect his run game. So if you rush him, he's going to throw over you. But if you lay off, he's going to get that 3rd and 12 because he's still a sneaky enough runner, and he knows where the first down marker is. And I mean, you can't argue the stats. He's the most accurate quarterback to ever play the game. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what you think of that,
No,
and I think Joe Burrow in his career could start giving him a run for his money in that. To be honest.
That's what I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, because he's already. I mean, you got to think he's already turning a franchise around to where guys want to sign with Cincinnati. Big names want to
Right.
sign with Cincinnati. I mean, I went to a Reds game Saturday. Just drove by the indoor stadium. That's crazy
Finally.
that it took. It literally took for Joe Burrow to come to Cincinnati for us to find to win games.
To win more than like 4 games a season.
Yeah, I mean it's just. It's a whole nother atmosphere, and I'm very, very, very curious to see what happens with this contract talks, the contract negotiations, because I hear a lot of things. Plus, I follow every like Cincinnati outlet and news
Mm-hmm.
and sports. So I'm hoping, obviously with the new sponsors, with it being Paycor Stadium now with Skyline Chili, all that kind of stuff. It's allowing the more money, and the way they're talking and the way Joe Burrow's talking, it sounds like the deal's going to be done, and there's going to be some money for Logan Wilson and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and
Right.
stuff.
Keep the band
Yeah.
together per se.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
really and I hope this. This is not a big name, but it should be, because honestly, he'd be a number 1 on certain teams and a number 2 on every team. And Tyler Boyd,
Yeah.
this is the end of his contract this season. He was there when we were trash, and I honestly believe, this is my opinion. Besides, the redo on 4th down, I won't say that again. But Tyler Boyd got injured that game at the very beginning of that game.
Yeah.
That dude is unbelievable in the slot, and to have 3 guys out there that you got to cover, that makes a big difference. Not saying
Who's their tight end?
it's going to be Irv Smith Jr. from
Okay.
the Vikings, which he fits really good in the system. But I wouldn't surprise me with this. Charlie Jones, fourth rounder, we picked from. He was the number one wide receiver coming out of the collegiate in like receptions or receiving yards or something like that from Purdue. Dude is
Yeah.
lethal. He has the size of a tight end. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me that him and Irv Smith battle for that tight end position and they move him to tight end. It would not surprise me one bit.
Interesting.
I was upset that we lost Hayden Hurst because I love that dude. The intensity that he brought to the games. He had the flow as well. And that was the dude that he could wear a crop top jersey and he had the body for it. And Skylar, you better post a pic of Hayden Hurst on here in the crop top because that dude was a Viking. Like he looked like he could be on the show Vikings. That dude was, and just the way he brought the intensity. But he deserved a big contract. He deserved what he got. And I know with all the contracts and all the money that we got to pay Burrow and Chase and Higgins and all them, we can't pay everybody. And that's the one bad thing is you can't pay everybody. There's a salary cap.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm already begging for NFL to start.
Yeah. The way we're talking about it, you can tell we're both excited. I mean, I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
Yeah. I know. I want to get up to Green Bay this year.
So that's the question I was going to ask you is so I know you're always going to be a Green Bay fan.
Yeah.
Are you going to watch more Jets football this year?
I mean, I'm going to be forced to because they have like 8 primetime games. But, I mean, I'll follow them. But I'm not a Rodgers hater because at the start of last season, I knew he was going to leave eventually. Mm-hmm. I honestly thought he'd play one more year because of how well the rookies came out on the end of the season. Once they got healthy again. And they made it to the playoffs. I mean, they lost, first round, but just because the team kind of gelled a little more. So I thought they were going to do a 1-year contract or finish out his contract and then he'd leave.
Yeah.
So I was already prepared for the Rodgers being gone. So I'm not a Rodgers hater like I was when Favre left because he just left as an arrogant veteran who he thought, he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Where, I don't think Rodgers handled it the best way. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Jordan Love does.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Who they got as wide receiver now? Because is Lazard?
Yeah, he's gone. Trying to think off the top of my head.
Yeah, because
they made some changes and they've got some new guys coming in. I don't know. I'd have to look. I haven't been watching as much yet. I'm got to get in the mode and start watching more. But there's still a lot of moves making and all that stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm interested because the whole AFC itself is stacked. Mm-hmm. And so, I think whoever comes out of the AFC is winning the Super Bowl. Whoever comes out of the AFC is winning the Super Bowl.
I got you. Yeah.
Whether it's the Bengals, whether it's the Chiefs, whether it's the Bills, whether it's the Jets, whether it's the Dolphins, whether it's I think those are my 5.
You think the Jets have a realistic chance?
I do.
You do?
Well, see, now that I think about it, it's so tough because their division's Miami, New England, Buffalo, and them.
Yes.
That's tough, man.
I know.
Because then you got to look at the AFC North. You got Cincy, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cleveland.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure don't they open against the Bills?
Man. And then you got the Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. And Jimmy G's on the Raiders. I'm telling you, man, this is going to be that's going to be tough now. This I don't know because you can't.
And Rodgers has already tweaked his hamstring.
Oh man, yeah. Now that I think about it, this is who I'm thinking. I got the Bengals. Okay, I got the Chiefs.
Yeah.
See, this is where it's gonna get tough. I got the Bills,
Yeah, that's the first Monday night. Buffalo at Jets.
but then after that, it's because
Really, all I hope for Green Bay is that Jordan Loves still sweeps the Bears.
you know
That's
who
all I
I'm gonna
want.
say. You know who's I'm gonna say he's gonna have a playoff spot?
Who's that?
Jacksonville.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Jacksonville. I feel like
I mean,
that
they almost
conference. If you're
they
in that
almost made it last
conference,
year.
you have the best chance of getting to the playoffs in that conference with Indianapolis, Tennessee. Because right now, I think I was watching this clip with Ryan Tannehill and is it Lewis and shoot the three QBs, Levis. Is it Malik and then is it Will Levis, the
I
guy
don't know
from
what you're talking about.
Kentucky? Remember the Kentucky quarterback that didn't get selected in the first round?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah, scratch it then. But anyways, I think Derrick Henry is on the decline, even though it's not a huge decline. I think, as a running back, he's, we'll see, because
Oh, dude, the Jets schedule. Listen to this: Bills, Cowboys, Patriots, Chiefs, Broncos, Eagles, bye, Giants, Chargers, Raiders, Bills, Dolphins, Falcons, Texans, Dolphins, Commanders, Browns, Patriots. That first like 10 games,
yeah.
or 11 games, that's gonna be a rough 11 weeks.
Yeah. I feel like I know on our schedule, I guarantee you 15 wins.
Nice. Oh yeah, you don't have too tough of a
No,
schedule.
we don't. You got to think we played like
It's such an
Shat.
easy schedule.
Yeah, we played like Shat the first 4 or 5 weeks. You gotta remember that. And a lot of the times the NFL schedule's made up of the first like several weeks strength of
Yeah.
schedule. So if you like Pittsburgh Steelers, that one year they went 11-0 or 10-0, and then they shat the bed the rest of the season. I remember that in your face. And that was when the famous Ryan Finley moment.
Yeah.
Third string quarterback beat Pittsburgh. And remember when Von Bell knocked Juju out. Skyler won't post any of that stuff on. He'll probably delete that. But we'll just say that. Just saying that. He'll probably post something stupid like the Super Bowl. But we all know, yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, they've won a bunch of Super Bowls. Yes, they're always there. Yes, we all get that.
Steelers fans can talk to me when the Super Bowl trophy is named after their team. That's all I gotta say.
Always got to come in with it.
I mean, facts are facts.
I'm going to get a Who Day tattoo.
Oh my gosh, is it gonna say New Orleans on it?
Ah, that's hilarious. No.
You could get one on your right calf. You
There
can
we
have
go.
matching tattoos.
There we go. We're good. We're good.
There you go. I already know. Well, I shouldn't say my next tattoo. I already know a tattoo I am getting when it happens. I'm gonna get the Lombardi Trophy and like have it shadowed like behind the G on my leg and then Roman numeral all their Super Bowl wins on it.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, when we do our fantasy league, we'll have to do a bet just between us outside of the fantasy league on who has the better record.
Sounds good. I'm actually I'm getting the belt, and I still haven't figured it out of like what I'm gonna do about last year with what it all happened with the Bengals Bills game kind of screwing everything up. But I mean, it's unfortunate what happened. You can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
But obviously,
What do you mean? You don't know what to do about it?
Yeah, and that did make a big impact. Not only did it make a big impact on me, just saying, I mean, my fault for picking 4 Bengals players in my starting lineup. But you got to think, I was killing everybody from like weeks 5 on because the first 4 weeks was pretty bad for me because I had 4 Bengals players and we decided to play like Shat the first 4-5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I had Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins all on my team. And, that obviously that makes a big impact.
Yeah.
And I lost by 2 points that week. 2 points. 4 guys could have gotten more than 2 points.
Let
Joe
it go,
Burrow.
man. Let it go.
I'm just
Let
saying,
it go.
I'm just saying. Still salty about it, just like the Morrow Party incident. We'll never let that down.
Next time you come up, we gotta play old school Mario Party.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because the new crap stinks. It's
It's
like
for babies.
sportsmanship triumphs. No. I'm here to win. If I lose, I'm going home.
Dude, that's what I always tell my kids. They're I'm like, play to win. And they're like, but we're just having fun. I'm like, no, play to win, and you can be a gracious loser and a gracious winner, but frickin' play to win. None of this help the other team up and all that stuff. Run by them.
Well, I'm
I need to help
competitive as
them
can
up.
be.
Hell yeah.
Ask my buddy Jake Liddell back in high school. We were playing Class Jeopardy in English, and this was for the game winner. Okay, I knew the answer and I had it right, but Jake wanted to go a different route, so he decided to go with a different answer. And guess what? We got it wrong. We lost. I was pissed. I didn't talk to him for like 2 weeks. I took that crap to heart. I was so mad. I like punched it. I was like, slam it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I said I was right.
Yeah, dude, I'm competitive as hell. I'm competitive as hell.
I'm telling you, I'm here to win.
Dude, it was the hardest thing. Like when my kids were like 4 or like 3, 4, 5, and we're playing board games to like let them win every now and then, like Candyland, like rig the deck to like make sure they win every once in a while. It's like I just want to like reel this into like.
Nope. Yeah,
Not anymore. Not anymore. Like they're old enough now. Like they can lose.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah, but you know, like when they're that young, you can't crush their spirits that early.
I don't know. You can ask Colton. He tried to play me in one-on-one at like 4 or 5. Maybe that's probably why he doesn't want to play basketball, because he tried to go up for a layup, and I swatted that like 30 yards away. I don't think he ever shot a basket ever again. I know we started talking about Mondays and went off of, well, Monday Night Football leads into
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of things. I know
Well, going back to childhood though, that was like we were allowed to stay up later to watch Monday Night Football. Like we didn't, like when we were young, we couldn't finish the game because it wouldn't get over to like 11:30. But yeah, we were allowed to stay up later to watch Monday Night Football. And then like when it was the Packers, I'd get to stay up even a little more later.
See, I would either watch that or I'd watch Monday Night Raw growing up with the WWE. I don't watch I watch it here and there. Actually, Ashley just came over the other night and we watched a little bit of it. Usually what I'll do is watch it the day after and have it recorded, and then I just fast forward through all the ones that I don't really care about and just watch the few people that are interesting still and whatnot. But some of the storylines and things and characters now are actually not too bad and are interesting. But as a kid growing up, it was a lot different because
I could never get into wrestling.
See, I'm a big UFC fan now, so sometimes it's hard to watch because you know that it's
scripted and fake and
and so
that's why I can't get into it. Like I'm not knocking them. Like wrestlers are athletes; they're athletic people. Like I'm not saying they're not athletic, and they get they still do get hit and they get bruised and they tear shit and whatever. All that is I get it. So I'm not knocking that, but I just can't get into watching something and like being surprised at who won because you're like. Nobody, neither of the fighters are surprised. Neither, the whole organ. Back from my mic. Oh, that hurt.
What just happened?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the screen is orange.
I don't know. I just got mega feedback from my mic, and then the video went out for some reason.
No, as a kid, I was saying that I was a lot into it more just because as a kid, you still have that imagination and that kind of thinking of like, oh, like, yeah, this ain't really fake, but you can kind of like tell yourself that. And like I would practice the moves, especially on my brother and stuff like that. We would, we'd have WWE moves. Plus, I had like this huge stuffed animal that I would RKO or 5-star frog splash off the couch, and then my mom would yell at me from the other room and whatnot. But now, there's certain like storylines and stuff. But like growing up as a kid, obviously with The Rock and Stone Cold and Rikishi and Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Sting, all them. I mean, it was nice
Yeah.
watching that kind of growing up. Plus, also the divas back in the day, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, yeah, all of them. Definitely
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
watching that as a kid and was like in awe, just staring right in front of the TV like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were like the Monday nights because it started at I think like 9, so that was like the day I could stay up, or I would
Yeah.
have to like record like the second part. But the back then, like we'd have to record it on like the VHS tapes,
Mm-hmm.
and like I remember I recorded over like one of my dad's like important tapes or something like that for work or whatever. He
You
was
gotta
so
punch the tabs out.
yeah, he was so mad.
Boom.
There we go. Now
So,
that he's
anyways,
back, we'll catch
you
you
were
next
talking about
time
how.
on.
So, anyways, you're talking about like when you watch it, you try and get in your head that it's real and it's not scripted, but it's hard to get past that.
Yeah, now as an adult, it was much easier as a kid. Now,
Right.
and as a kid, I didn't start watching UFC until probably as like mid like a young preteen maybe maybe that's
Yeah.
the
See,
where like Chuck Liddell.
I would much rather watch UFC or even boxing than wrestling.
Yeah, I'm a big UFC fan. I watch,
Yeah.
religiously every
Yeah.
UFC fight night. UFC was 289 coming up. I mean, or 289, whether it's a number. I mean, I even watched the Ultimate Fighter, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
The only thing that sometimes UFC gets boring is when you're just in a match where they just like grapple the entire match
yeah,
and they just roll around on the
yeah,
mat. Like I want to see some action if I'm going to watch UFC.
yeah. I'm more
That
of a
or
striker.
like not a ton of times, but there's been a couple times where like buddies will buy like a prize fight or something,
Hmm.
and then it lasts 45 seconds,
Yeah.
and it's all this hype to it and everything. It's like
See,
I was at one friend's house and it was late, because the title match or whatever isn't till like midnight, 1 o'clock, right?
most of the
So
time,
I
yeah,
was at his house and we were sitting on the couch and I was kind of like doing one of these, like staying awake, but like, so I just like, and I was dozing off and they're like, all right, it's coming up. So I get up and so I like get up and I start walking around and I'm like, all right, cool. All right, I'm ready. And the match literally lasts like 56 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, oh,
See, I was a big Diaz fan, Nate and Nick Diaz.
yeah,
I was a big Luke Rockhold fan. Like I like Chuck Liddell back in the day. I like Israel Adesanya, so I want to see him.
yeah,
And then I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm a Dustin Poirier fan. I'm a McGregor fan, but when he was fighting, Nate Diaz, I'm always gonna side with Nate Diaz. The Diaz's are always gonna be my favorite fighters from
yeah,
day one, to be honest. But I'm also a big Brian Ortega fan. Like I love Brian Ortega. I think the fight with him and Volk was crazy, and he deserves so much credit for that. And then it sucks that he follows that up with being a main eventer again. And I think he gets injured not even 5-10 seconds into the fight.
yeah,
It sucks because that stuff happens, and you got people and that do pay for those pay-per-views and things like that, and next thing you know, that fighter goes in and makes one punch or one kick the wrong way and snaps his
boom, he's
leg,
done.
and boom,
Right.
there's a
Yep.
match. And it's like it sucks because they put all that time and effort and that training
All
to
the
go out
money that
there.
goes into it.
Oh my, yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy, and I wish they got paid more as well. But I know if you're like a big name, that's the thing, is if you're a big name and you got those sponsorships around you, and that, I mean, if you make a name for yourself, I mean, you're racking in the dough. Like if you're
Oh
Colby
yeah.
Covington, you're Conor McGregor, you're Dustin Poirier, you're Justin Gaethje, you're you guys like that. You're bringing in the dough. Usman, you're bringing it. My dog's barking probably at the stray cats out, and she I told you she's a certified killer. She's on the hunt at all times. She does not like her. She's like, yep, she's like the old man standing on the front porch like,
Get off my lawn.
yard. That's her. That's her. She does not like people in her yard.
We used to have we used to do like the local, it was called the Penny Saver, the local newspaper. And we used to deliver that, pick up the papers, roll them and rubber band them or bag them if it's raining. And there was this guy who was like that, and his yard was like immaculate. And he had like 3 get off the lawn or like stay off lawn signs. So like we were kids, so at first like we'd go around and like set it on his paper or on his porch and walk back around. And at that point, it was like, this is a pain in the ass. So we just stood from the sidewalk and just chucked it at his door. Because most of the time you can just like jog through the neighborhood and toss them and nobody cares, but not this guy. So we just started chucking them at the door. Sometimes we'd hit it, sometimes we wouldn't. And then the same guy's like out on Halloween, like passing out candy. I'm like, fuck you! I'm not going around to your yard to get candy. You're probably passing out almond joys. Nobody wants that.
No, we want Three Musketeers.
We want Snickers, Three Musketeers, Milky Ways. Actually, I don't want that. Like my favorite chocolate is Snickers or peanut butter Snickers, but I like all the Skittles, the sour candies, all that stuff. That's my jam.
See, I'll eat Three Musketeers and like Reese's, and I'll eat Snickers, but I was never much of a candy person.
Yeah, I like all the candy.
See,
Sarah will make fun of me because like we'll get ready for bed, and I'll get in bed and I'm like chewing on something, and she's like, "What are you eating?" I'm like, "Skittles." She's like, "Where are they?" I'm like, "In my pocket," and I'll just like have a pocket full of Skittles and just like,
See, I can't. I'm not. I've never been much of a candy like.
Yeah.
Even like I'd go over to like my great grandpa's house, and he would have candy on the table. Like I would eat like a cookie, or I'd eat the pizza or everything else, and you'd see all the other kids going straight for the M&Ms and Skittles and everything else. I'm like, but for Halloween, like I'd give half my candy away and stuff like that, just because
Yeah, no, I like. I'm not a chocolate person, but I like all the other stuff. But I was mad because I always have something in my door, like whether it's Jolly Ranchers or like Airhead Sours or Sour Patch Kids or something. And I was driving and my doors were off, and I like reached down I'm like, damn it, I don't have my candy with me. What am I gonna do? I used to work with my buddy, and we'd like sometimes we'd drive together. And we'd stop at a gas station, and he'd like go in and get a water and like a Gatorade. And I'd go in and get like a water and like a pack of Skittles and like beef jerky. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know, this is my lunch."
Well, I think it's time that we wrap it up for you guys. It's been a great Monday. We thought we'd share another podcast this week with you, like usual. So Dan, give us your credentials.
Yeah, follow us on the things right up here on YouTube. Follow us, subscribe us, like us, do all that. We've got Twitter. Email us at the number one dansanity@gmail.com with ideas, comments, ways to improve, things you like, things you don't like. We want your feedback. Do all that. Until next time, deuces.
Catch you on the flip side.